Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
Homeowners associations pop up in the news from time to time, and they get a lot of people riled up, and for good reason. But the scary part is that a lot of people don't think about what a homeowner association can do until they've joined one, and they find out because it happens to them. Then people get upset. But the problem, of course, is if you go and read the bylaws to your homeowners association and see all the things in there that they can do to you, the question is, maybe if you'd caught that before you bought that home, it would have helped you a little bit. From WSOC TV, South Carolina HOAs can charge a substantial fee to leave. So you buy into an HOA, you're there for a while, and you decide you want out. Just to get out, you got to pay. And that's legal in South Carolina and many places. Scott Wickersham wrote this story. Many homeowners are familiar with homeowners association fees, but in South Carolina, you may have to pay to leave your neighborhood group. A woman was surprised to find a more than $1,700 bill from her HOA when she sold her home in Fort Mill. She said she loved the home in the neighborhood. She lived there for 8 years, but decided to build a home over on Lake Wiley, which sounds like a nice place. One was named after the coyote. Her home in Baxter Village sold in just one day. Things are rocking. But at closing, she was shocked to see a substantial line item fee that said HOA service fee, $1,700. The cost is almost double what her annual dues were, because her annual dues were $950. So they're hitting her for a get out of the HOA fee. I told him right then, this is highway robbery. Why are they charging me to leave? This is not right. I got mad. Channel 9's Scott Wickersham got a copy of the Baxter Village HOA agreement. It does say that when you sell the home, you must pay a fee which shall not exceed the greater of $500 or 0.25% of the gross selling price. In this hot housing market, she sold her home for upwards of $685,000. Baxter then took its fee, which was $1,712, which was 0.25% of the sales price, which was the greater amount. South Carolina is wide open, says attorney Zach Moritz, who specializes in HOAs, and says the fee is legal in South Carolina. It is completely lawful to do this. In 2010, North Carolina lawmakers wrote the Planned Community Act, which banned such exit fees except in rare cases. In South Carolina, no such law. Whatever your document says in your neighborhood, that's what you're going to have to do, the attorney says. You have to follow the covenants, and there's actually an attorney general opinion in South Carolina that says there is no law on this. Therefore, they can do it. It's a private matter between the HOA and the members. If you're planning to buy a house in South Carolina and will be joining an HOA, find out what the rules are ahead of time to avoid any expensive surprises. And it's not just expenses. Understand what the rules are. The attorney says go through it, read them, and ask questions. Spokesperson from the Baxter Management Company told Channel 9 the fee has been in place since 1998. Spokesperson added that the fee is public record, discussed regularly at HOA and new owner meetings, and routinely provided to purchasers as part of the title work for their closing. And it says routinely, and it actually say, always is. That's something that they should be showing you because it's part of the title work. And so what I always tell people is that a lot of people will go shopping for homes, they drive around, they see a home they like, and they fall in love with it. If you might have an aversion to HOAs, you need to weed them out before you go shopping. And I've mentioned before that there are, real estate search sites where you can put in criteria. And there's some that say no HOA, and you can click the box and it'll take them out of your search. But if you're looking at a house and you find out it's in an HOA, don't just go, oh, it's an HOA. No. You need to read the rules. And you'd be surprised. And I tell people this, that I've seen fights over these things. And now I've never dealt with the HOA rules in South Carolina, but I've seen them in Michigan and a few other states. I've had people contact me and say, check this out. And I can tell you, for instance, that it's not uncommon for an HOA to say, not only do you have to keep your yard neat and your lawn mowed, You can't plant any shrubs or bushes or vegetation out there unless we approve it. And they'll have a list of approved plants. So you can plant this, but you cannot plant that. You can plant this, cannot plant that. You can plant this, can't plant that. And they'll actually say, these are the plants you can plant, these are the plants you cannot plant. And if you plant the wrong plants, they'll come by and ding you, maybe $100 a day or something. Maybe get a court order to remove it. If they remove it at their expense, they're going to charge you. And now you might say, Steve, I guess I kind of understand that one. But did you see it coming? Maybe you did. Okay, how about this one? I read an article in the paper a while back about a bunch of people who were fighting a HOA where they had a rule about what color the blinds or the drapes were inside your house if they were visible from the outside. So when you close the blinds at your house, or you close the drapes, whatever you call them, you close them to get some privacy, maybe turn on some inside lights because it's dark outside. In the morning when someone's walking by your house, can they see them through the glass? They can? Okay. What color are they? You see, a lot of HOAs will dictate what color your house can be. They'll dictate what color your shingles can be. And they'll dictate what color your window treatments are if they can be seen through the windows. Because what good would it do if all the houses matched on paint, but you got some wacky, ugly window treatments? And they don't call them just wacky, ugly. They'll just say, okay, here's the things you can have, here's the things you can't have. And oh, by the way, they can say the color of your window treatments must match the color of your house, for instance. That's an example. And I've had people say, Steve, that's crazy. That's inside my house. But it can be seen from the outside. And as with any rule in the HOA, if you buy into the HOA and you own the property and it comes with the covenants or restrictions or the bylaws or whatever they call them for your HOA, you must abide by them. And the courts treat that like it's simply a contract. And the contract is that you signed it, you agreed to it, and when you entered, you are now a party to that contract. If the contract says you got to pay us this get out of the HOA fee, you got to pay the fee. And that's, so unfortunately, a lot of people tell me that they got into an HOA, beautiful homes, beautiful neighborhood, paid top dollar, and then later on they discovered something they assumed would be okay was actually a violation of the bylaws. Well, you shouldn't assume anything, you should read the rules. But the other thing to keep in mind is I've had people say, well, Steve, I talked to some neighbors who are really cool and they said, don't worry about getting no problems here. The HOA often takes on the personalities of the members of the board. It depends how many members there are on the board. What often happens is someone will get on that board who's got nothing better to do and has decided to become the HOA police. And when that person gets on the board with a couple of their friends, the whole tenor of your life there can change. You suddenly realize that they're going to send you hate mail for saying, you left your garage door open. We could see your car. Why was your garage door open? Someone knocked over your garbage can last night and the garbage is all over the place. We're going to hit you for a fine on that one. I've heard of that too. Someone goes, how do I know someone's going to knock my garbage can over? Because garbage comes by in the morning, put the garbage out the night before, someone comes by and knocks it over, or maybe raccoons, lovable little scamps that they are. Maybe raccoons knocked your garbage can over. But you didn't get out and pick it up in time before the HOA police went by and said, oh, your garbage can is knocked over. $50. They can do that if it's in the rules. So if you want that kind of misery, buy into an HOA. So I've also talked to people, just to be fair here, I've talked to people who said, Steve, I bought into an HOA. It's small. We know everybody. We get along fine. I enjoy it. It makes the neighborhood look nicer. Everything's kind of uniform in a good way. I like it. It's good. Yeah, great. And there are examples of that. But it seems there's more examples of people getting in, not understanding what they're getting into. So as with everything else I tell you on this show, my goal is that you know this stuff and can prepare yourself going in. So if you want to join a place that's got an HOA and buy a house in there and you read the rules and you think you can live with them, go right ahead. And I wouldn't criticize you for that as long as you do it knowingly. You know what you're getting yourself into. But this is crazy because I'd never heard of this one before. But apparently, like I said, and like they said, they can charge you a fee simply because you're leaving. And you might say, Steve, what's the fee for? Oh, it's just money. They just want the money. You're leaving, we're going to charge you some more money. HOA wants to raise money the same way the government wants taxes. What's it for? Because they can. That's all. That's what it's for. Okay. If somebody has a way where they can get money, they will. Why? Because they can get money. So Scott and Sue's both sent this. Thanks a lot, Scott Wickersham, WSOC Television. South Carolina HOAs can charge a substantial fee just to leave. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. I once worked at a cheap pizza shop to get by. I needed the dough.